going because I'm actually supposed to be recording. So the image that came to mind was a lion with a kill, whatever that is. And you think, oh my God, that's kind of like the system that we have right now. It's still a natural system. What is it about it that may teach us something? And it's like, okay, the lions get in there, they eat first. Then who comes next? Other predators, the hyenas, the coyotes, whoever's in the background, they come in and they eat a little bit. Who comes next? Predatory birds. Who comes next? You know, next. And then until you get the flies that lay their larvae that feed on whatever's left. And then those flies feed the birds that aren't predators. Okay, what about the prey that got killed? Oh my God, that's not fair, right? Absolutely not fair. But in nature, and this is where the capital system goes off. In nature, it is this survival of the fittest. And in that lion catching that particular prey, the prey that survives tends to be stronger. I don't really like that. You know, it's not really a great analogy across humans, but if that prey did not have predators, this is the other part in nature, what happens? They overgraze. They destroy biodiversity. They create other problems. So the model in nature is this balance, constant balance back and forth. We don't have that in our current competitive capital, the person with the most wins situation. When you look at Fund 7, that was a very, extra broken fund, expanded new challenge teams, trying to gather our feet, the voting, the CA problem, the big advertisement, who to vote for, who to downvote, Cardano for climate, in case you, climate change, the challenge, in case you didn't know, was the most downvoted challenge of all of them. And why?
It was you?
Why was it downvoted? This is my question. I don't mind downvotes.
Like, how many people tell you no? Like, God dang.
So this is a failure in this. I really strongly believe downvote shouldn't be part of the equation. They do say something, but maybe they shouldn't factor in as heavily as they do. What it told me after 30 minutes of disappointment was that this system is not working. And I lost my thought now.
Well, I'll help you get it back.
Okay.
I downvote all my own proposals, so it looks like the community hates me.
Self-sacrifice.
I'm kidding.
I'll get myself first.
So
I mean, that's kind of
it was definitely disturbing in that sense. But what it told me, now I remember, is we're in competition for limited resources. Hello, this is climate change. This is the world we live in. This is where we are failing because we are in competition for limited resources and we don't know how to cooperate. We don't know how to share resources to make sure every voice is heard. Even the oddballs like myself that don't fit into the picture, how does my voice get heard? How does somebody's voice that doesn't speak my language get heard? So we're in competition, and this is the part that I have a challenge with. And how do we encourage cooperation? How do we facilitate cooperation?
feel like Fund 7 was a little messy because there's so many new things, like challenge teams came into life in Fund 7. We still don't really know how those are supposed to operate. I don't know, and I'm stepped up to try and run one. So hey,
Hello. Yeah.
uh,
Welcome to the chaos. Welcome to the
yeah,
experiment, right?
definitely. And but as I as as going through Fund 7 and coming into Fund 8 now, and listening to everybody the last few weeks, and having hung out with Quasar working on hard fork and whatnot, what he's working on, helping him with a few things here and there with that, it's very obvious that there are three different levels or three different cycles happening inside of Project Catalyst, and we're totally missing one of them, and we're working on growing the third one. These are like the ideation phase is completely missing because everybody who's active in Catalyst is too busy finishing off the last fund and then now working on their own stuff for the next fund, and so ideation is completely gets kind of missed. And that needs to kind of go. You can't be in. All right, so you have the ideation phase, then you have voting, like curation and voting, and then you have the auditability. And these three phases are happening kind of coexistently, but you shouldn't be able to be working on like actively hosting multiples. You probably can't do multiple layers at a time. So if there's 3 layers, you shouldn't be splitting your time between those 3. But okay, so I think that we are going to end up having different communities, one for like a whole community on a maybe separate platform for ideation, and then that's where everyone will get their ideas crunched out and then refined with other people, and then they have solid proposals done, and then they go into Ideascale and in Project Catalyst, and they use the curation voting mechanism that is what IOG is majorly working on right now, and moving and doing all that, and then that's where the money kicks out from there, and then the money is tracked by a third community, and that's the auditability community, and they're kind of following, and that's what I think challenge teams have something to do. They're like, you start off in the ideation side of it, and then you and the next fund you're doing in the auditability, and maybe you like flock back and forth.
So with
Anyway.
with that being said though, how do you survive? How do you create a sustainable system if you're going into 3 months like we do with volunteering your time, learning the system, ideation, sharing your ideas, in a competitive world? I do have a challenge called Climate Change the Cooperation, very, very small budget. And it's going to be based on a model where we cooperate, where we use the budget that we're given, and we actually create proposals with less of a budget so that they're all included. But this will require consensus. And anybody that joins that one knows right from the beginning that you need to come to meetings to ideate. We're going to start as soon as we're done Challenge Fest. As soon as we get the proposal written and in, we'll start collaborating. We'll start doing that overlapping. And then we'll have proposals ready. And say we don't get funded as a challenge, instead of that work being wasted, we've ideated through this fund, and we're ready to go into 30,000 other challenge settings if need be, or we'll figure out a way to do that. So this is my you know, frustration as a community around a purpose without a challenge. We are divided up over challenges. And this is the system that we have to work with at this point. I see to gain in there. Yeah, and fixing the current platform, really sweet, but we don't have time. I'm getting content all the time, you know, issues coming in. To gain, you can actually rename yourself top 3 buttons of your screen. I see you came in as Nana with his link, which is awesome. And Thorsten, welcome for coming. I do have a little short presentation because this time I feel we're not going to be sharing our challenges or the proposals that we have, but we're going to start with collaboration and see where we can maybe work together before we, especially since we have this time now to rewrite our proposals rather than competing. I'm going to go through my presentation, Peter, if that's okay.
Good.
Kind of cut you off, and Quasar, hopefully you're good with that too. So, hey,
Yeah,
Simon.
Peter's not the boss. Don't ask him anything.
Yeah, no, I don't want to be the fucking boss.
Nobody wants to be the boss. I hear you. Okay, just a second. I have to do one thing. Start from the beginning. Make it real super professional. 5 months ago, I didn't know how to navigate Zoom or Google Drive or any of this stuff. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. Okay, so here we go. Dimitri's coming in and you can see my screen now, correct? Yes. Awesome. So here we are. We started a little bit early, had some chit chats connecting. I was really happy when Felix said at the beginning, your room, your rules, because I do like to think out of the box, literally. And I spent the last 2 days, instead of writing proposals or getting really well prepared for this presentation, I spent 2 days putting a 1,000 piece puzzle together, because that was the way I could make sense out of the chaos. So welcome to Fund 8, Fund 9, Challenge Setting Challenges. What it means, what it is, we're still figuring that out. And I've been in this since Fund 7. So we don't see what the picture is clearly. We don't know what's coming. We are out of focus at this point in time. We don't know what's coming. So, and this is what we're given as a community. If we are to become decentralized and community to be community focused, who writes the rules? Right now we're given top-down rules that you have X number of dollars. We're working on Ideascale. We're voting. This is the way the voting works. Those are rules that are written by somebody else. And throughout the community, there's different parts of it who are trying to reiterate on this beginning and make it better. In the meantime, if we're part of an experiment, are we allowed to rewrite the rules? And that's the challenge in this challenge setting. I don't even know that as a challenge team member that I can rewrite what the challenge setting that comes as this. Can I rewrite the rules on that? Can I rewrite it? I don't know yet. So at this point, this is what Fund 8 looks like to me. 1,000 piece puzzle. And how do we put it together? Hands up for any puzzlers out there who likes doing jigsaw puzzles. Yes, I mean, I can't see everybody's hand, but
it disappears.
You can appreciate, and I have a best friend, Marlene. She said that puzzles are impossible. If you look at this, this is an impossible situation. We can't make a picture out of this. So we create rules, we create methods, we look for edge pieces, we create our own rules to make a picture out of this. And that's why I feel like puzzles are really important. In Catalyst right now, This is what we're doing. We're taking the puzzle, the bigger picture, and we're divvying out pieces. You get this much, you get this much, you get this much. What can you do with it? And this is what we have. This is how I see it. This is how I visualize it. We have pieces that are not connected. We have people trying to fill in these gaps with limited resources. Some people might be hoarding a piece or two or three because they're afraid to share their ideas and lose the fear of missing out on making a huge amount of money on this capital driven idea. And if we're to promote open source collaboration, how do we encourage people to share their ideas, respect them, reward them, incentivize them to share them? You know, there's all these challenges that come up. And then eventually, if we get it together, we might have a better idea of what this picture could become. There'll still be missing pieces because we aren't the whole world, but we have a better idea. And what happens when we do work together? So rather than being heavy, I think we need time to play. So in the chat, if somebody could, let's see, I'm going to do this. Okay, so here we go. If you're a challenge setting challenge proposer, if you could grab one of these sticky notes and put your challenge on it and connect the link to it. That's all we're going to do today. And then we're going to start figuring out how we can cooperate. Okay. Rather than divvying up this puzzle, we're going to start delegating maybe the edge pieces to somebody, maybe the red pieces to somebody, maybe that shape of a piece to somebody. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I do know that if we work together, we can do something better.
Right on purple, it doesn't work.
What's that?
Okay. I said I'm not using the purple one, you can't see the writing. Let's swap to a yellow one.
So Simon, are you actually working on the Miro board?
Yes, yeah, I just tried to put mine on a purple post-it, but it looks terrible.
Okay, so
you
I'm
can't read
gonna,
the words.
I'll
There you
actually
go.
share the Miro board, which I find quite difficult, and I'm feeling actually a little bit of stress just because I cannot multitask like I used to. But we're going to try this anyways because this is important stuff. And the problem with this, though, that I find is that I lose your faces and reactions and stuff. So please feel free to do this. And then what this becomes, I have no idea, you guys. No idea what will come out of this. Yeah, and so there's a really cool way that you can actually do this, adding a link that I found out. If you go to the challenge, maybe I can't actually, yeah, and you select the whole challenge, there'll be a little screen that comes up and you'll see this link, insert link. You can actually copy and paste your Ideascale link. You could even put another one in there that says documents, and then you don't have to turn into a Post-it note with microscopic words on it. So this is a really cool thing. The other cool thing that you can do is what I did with this one was add a tag. How do we contact you, and who are you? Who are you that are submitting this and being here? So you can do that by selecting this little tag. As you can see, you can create your own tag and create whatever color. Simon, it sounds like you like purple too, so I'll make it purple, and I'm going to add you to it. What's your favorite color?
Me, green, definitely.
Okay, so we're going to, I don't know. Okay, so here, look,
Click
we're
the
going to
button
change
that-
it to green
yeah,
just to
there
make
we
this
go, that
fun.
one. Yeah.
Okay, so there you
That's
are, because
better.
you're part of it. By osmosis, Simon is part of the challenge setting challenge team, which is also an open group. There is no limit to the amount of people that come in. We need to figure this out together. So, okay, I see this happening. Very cool. Any suggestions or thoughts or questions?
I'm trying to think how to link them together. That's the hard bit, isn't it? It's what would you link them together with? Is this I suppose there are a couple of classification systems that I can think of that may want to group them. There's geographical, but I don't think that's going to help. I'm thinking more it's a category of what you're doing, but then what would the categories going to be? It's, you know,
So
if we sort of put some categories around the edge, you could draw a line over to the categories then, couldn't you? So I'll give you an example because I'm thinking about my proposal. Although it's called democracy, it's a collaboration type platform, which I know other people are looking at collaboration type work. And then there are other people looking at running DAO type work, and there are other people looking at social enterprise type work. So maybe if people get the core theme of what their proposal is about and just put an extra proposal on there.
Wouldn't that be under the heading of governance? Governance models in general?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just think if everybody takes another post-it note but moves it outside of the big square and says this is what the main thrust of my proposal is about, rather than what its title is.
Perfect. This is what we're doing. We're playing and having fun. We're working on a puzzle together. There are
So
no
making the
rules.
pieces. Yeah.
The only rule that I have in my family is that you can't look at the picture. But
Yeah, so
that's
there
a
you go.
rule somebody else has made up. I make it to challenge myself. But there are no rules. And please feel free to move those notes out of there. Turn this into chaos.
Yeah,
Mix
that's
them
it.
up. Dump out
Make
the
it a mess
box.
first and then tidy it up afterwards. There you go.
So it's exactly what Felix said at the beginning. If you're the co-host, your rules, and I think outside the box. So I've just taken a box of puzzle pieces, dumped them
Get
out.
outside the box, literally. That's what I've just done. By the way, if anybody on the call is on a phone or something, just shout out what you want, and I've got Miro on my PC.
Okay, so Derek, I like the idea that you're thinking outside the box, but that's going to say you're more important than everybody else. So you'll need to move that and make it. We also have a kindergarten noon hour supervisor. I was at for part-time 13 years. So if people aren't playing fair in the kindergarten, there might be a few rules. But, you know, I think, Derek, though, that you probably would have felt that didn't fit, I'm thinking, right? Yeah, so I appreciate the creativity, though.
You need to make it a little bit bigger, Derek. I can't see it at all now. I'm scrolling in even in Miro and I still can't read it.
Okay, and then the other cool thing is adding
Thank you.
comments to these. The other thing you can do is also copy and paste somebody else's. So also, Derek, if you're here to promote just your idea, it's not going to work right now. Like if for some reason, like this was the most important thing that you're going to do, my rules, I want to be able to cooperate. So let's work on that.
Well, there's a collaboration straight away. I've just seen what Derek says. It's all about voting, which is the thrust of what mine is.
Perfect.
What I should, yeah, it's like, it feels like one of the most important things at the moment, doesn't it? Especially with what's going on in Chechnya. I mean,
yeah, so feel free to copy and paste these proposals and links and put them somewhere else, recategorize them. This is something you actually can't do with a puzzle. You know, you can't
draw that down to there.
Copy and paste and experiment that way. Or the links, that's the other thing you can do. Hey, Tommy, how are you doing?
I was looking for the mute. Hi. I'm
So-
multitasking.
Okay, and that's the challenge right now because, you know, people are in multiple categories, multiple challenges. Quasar, did you get your link on the Miro board? I see it in the chat. And
I'm trying to edit the presentation. I'm getting confused which screen I'm on.
Right.
No, I'm not on the Miro board.
okay, do you want help with that? Somebody else to do it for you? Or is this just feeling
I don't have a
too-
link to it, so.
Okay, I just put it in the chat again to the Miro board.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
And so if you don't, that's the other thing, if you don't have an Ideascale link, doesn't have to be linked, just have an idea. And if you've got documents you can link to, we could actually save Merrick a whole bunch of work by doing this before we start submitting proposals. And Tommy, you just arrived, correct?
Yeah, I've been room hopping.
Okay, so I just did go through a presentation on Felix saying your room, your rules. I want to work on this collaboratively. So before we present our proposals, we're going to work on putting them on a Post-it note with a link, and we're going to work on trying to figure out if there's some sort of collaborations rather
Yes.
than
I put those 4 ones in the bottom. Those are proposed by me, and a couple of them are up for grabs.
perfect. Yeah,
And I'm
just
also
have that,
part of
have that
another one.
information in there too, right?
Yeah, I put in the comments.
Perfect.
And
In the
I'm u-
comments.
I'm using a tag called "steal this idea," and
Oh,
I'm
nice.
using that in Ideascale also. If I feel like
Nice.
something is up for grabs, I'll tag it, steal this idea. And when you put it in the search, you can find it.
I love it. I absolutely love that. Thank you for that, because I actually was on a call yesterday with somebody threatening suicide, and he's worried about somebody stealing his idea, and that his idea was going to solve all his financial problems. This is not where we want to be. So I left it back in his lap. As far as choosing what he decides to do, it's not my responsibility, but I gave him some advice on, you know, reading Joseph Campbell and the hero's journey and all these portals that we come up to and these challenges, you know, that we face. Can we go forward and move on? And here you come along, Tommy, and it's like, steal my idea. I love it. So the other thing in this,
I've read the book, and I made one script for a movie. So yeah, I know what it's about.
something along the lines of Star Trek. You're copying Steven Spielberg's idea, whose was Joseph Campbell's idea, who came from where, right? Human history, patterns of human behavior. The other thing, Tommy, if you could add a tag with your name on it, so that we can identify who to approach on these things.
Well, I've commented on it, and it has my name on it.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. On the sticky note though, to help me.
Yes. Can't you see?
Where? Let me see.
If you go down, is this your
Oh.
screen we're looking at?
Just a second. Down. Okay, sorry.
Those 4 ones.
Oh, those 4 ones with the comments.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's another really easy identifier, is adding a tag.
Okay.
What color would you like to be?
I'm good with red.
You're what?
Red is nice.
Red is nice. Okay, awesome. Okay, so that's easy way
I'm
to
going to have to drop off,
identify.
Melanie. I've got
Okay,
another
Simon.
meeting to do with my college course, so I'm going to have to disappear.
Please
I'm
do.
afraid.
This is an
Yeah.
open room.
If I can
I'm
get back
here.
later, I will, if you're still here.
Yeah, and you let other people know that I'll stay open, and we'll just keep working on this.
Can I add one that I'm involved with, but I'm not the main proposer?
Please, anyone that you know. Thanks, Simon. See you in cyberspace. Tommy, absolutely. I also want to see if I'm going to try an experiment too while that's working. You guys can still see my screen, right? Just the Miro board? Or did I stop sharing? Okay. Again, do you have any, are you managing this okay? Do you have any thoughts or things you want to share? You want to take over the meeting for a bit while I get another hot cup of tea?
All right, I can do that, but I can't add notes to my notes or to my sticky.
A comment?
Yeah, it's just
okay. So this one, it's the Grow Africa one, right?
no, Grow Ethiopia, Grow.
Oh, sorry,
Tanzania.
I'm sorry, I have it really tiny on my screen, so I'm thinking
Okay.
that I can't see this very well. So if you go, just click on the sticky, see if I
Okay.
can, and then there should be this screen. And what you do is in the 3 dots on the side, more. That's okay. Come on, slow internet. And you can do. No, maybe it's a right click on the mouse. Yes.
I did right click, and there is edit, add comment.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay,
just
awesome.
All right. Thank you.
I didn't know how to use Miro board until about 3 months ago, 2 months ago. So really liking it. Can be very distracting though.
Okay.
The other thing you can do too is if you want to link it to anything else. Do you know how to add the line?
No.
Okay, so clicking on the line, you'll see these little dots on the side, and you can take it. See how it just made a line to this sticky?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So you can add more information.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Now I got it.
Okay, Melanie, I've added my things and I need to jump off, but
Good. Thanks for coming, Tommy.
Yeah, good initiative. Thank you.
Yeah,
so
well,
much.
we're going to just, work with this because, people presenting, 2 of us presenting proposals, not going to get anything done. So my rules, we're cooperating. And
Thank you so much.
glad to have you in the challenge team, quasi team, whatever it is. Okay.
Am I in that?
You're in it.
I didn't know.
I don't know what it's going to become or how. I'm just waiting for people to participate. And, and then we divvy up whatever we get for that work. Okay. Come as you go.
Yeah. Okay. I need
thanks,
to jump
Tommy.
off now. All right,
Okay.
bye.
Ciao. Oh, Door's coming in. Should we let him into the main meeting? Okay, folks, take over for a second. Tom, I'm going to be right back. I just have to go make get a hot cup of tea. And also, please feel free to stay or go. I have no worries about being offended if this isn't the right room for you, but I'll be right back, okay? Okay, and Tom, I don't know if you've got the chat. If you've got a challenge or a proposal in the challenge setting challenge, that's what we're actually on doing right now, is selecting these little stickies on the Miro board, adding our Ideascale links if need be. And now I'm really nervous because guess who just showed up in the room?
There's no reason to be nervous.
Oh, it's so good to see you or have you here, Dor. I think about how, you know, when I first jumped into Catalyst, how different it was. You know, town halls, you were fielding jokes from the swarm, and it was very, very laid back. And here we are in Fund 8, much more work, bigger community, and a lot of, you know, extra challenges maybe. So yeah, I'm just reminiscing about, you know, what was it, 8 months ago, 7 months ago, how things have changed.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the I guess what really changed. I think that there's a lot more money at stake.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a lot more power at stake, and yeah, a lot more people, and yeah, and I'm sure there's a lot of pockets of lightness and playfulness, but yeah, it's actually also real work that we need to do, and taking real risks and making real choices, and that's definitely can bring up lots of you know, seamless fun for sure.
And then I also look at it, you know, as a parent, about what it's like for IOG, IOHK to hand over the keys to the community. And, you know, there's a training, there's this anxiety going on. And, you know, eventually you want your kids to be able to drive. You want your kids to be able to go where they want to go instead of you driving them all over the place. And, you know, helping the community become the drivers of this is a challenge in itself, because there is no there's no driving school we get to go to, right? So we get to kind of create the rules.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I mean, I think there's a bit some some patterns and some frameworks, but it's very intentionally left a lot to be actually defined and filled in by the community. But yeah, but you know, we are definitely here, you know, to help and assist however we can, you know. And I think for us, the main thing we do is like having this like town hall structure of like the fun structure of these like different weeks that, you know, there's like different actions happening, and kind of helping to notify and enforce this. And I think that really helps, right? Because no matter what, even if there's 2 weeks that are really hard to do, you know, for community advisors, then it's over in 2 weeks, and then you get another, you know, and then you know the next time there's going to be another round to improve. And same for proposers, same for voters.
There is some continuity to it, yes. You know, we can kind of look ahead to see what's coming. Have you got a few minutes? Because I did throw together a little slide deck on my thoughts on this challenge setting. Are you hanging out for a bit?
Yeah, for a few minutes.
Okay.
Melanie, I know it's your room. Forgive me if I may. Do you mind if I ask a question?
Go for it, please do.
Thank you so much. Dora, thanks for jumping in here. Steve Aldrich has said some things many times, and it was something that you said to him, which was the community doesn't know how much power it has. And that just rings with me, you know, kind of every day. I didn't get to hear it from you specifically. So if you could, in some form or fashion.
So Quasar, I'm going to interrupt for 2 seconds and take that conversation elsewhere for now, because it's a big one. Dora, I'm sorry, is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
My
Quasar,
room, my
let's
rules.
like let's so first of all, I think you're doing a great job,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what Felix gave me the
enforcing.
power.
Yeah, exactly. And Quasar, I'll join in the next after town hall. Let's like catch up there and we can talk about it.
Perfect. They're heavy questions, and I have a feeling that we're going to run out of time. So here's the slide deck. Welcome to Fun 9 challenge setting. What it is, who we are. We're still figuring it out. The picture's very, very blurry. What we're creating, we have no idea. And so this is what we're given as a community. If we are to become decentralized and community focused, who writes the rules? If we are part of an experiment, are we allowed to rewrite the rules? So rather than really get prepared for this and write a whole bunch of proposals in the last few days, I did what I do when I'm feeling chaos. I took out a 1,000 piece puzzle and dumped it out and started looking at this. And it made me realize that this is very much like what we're doing right now in Catalyst. We have a fund, 1,000, whatever it is, pieces of a fund. And currently we take those pieces and divvy them up. And I'm seeing this, and this is really hard as a connector to see all these disconnected pieces, all this potential for people working together, all this reinventing these empty pieces. And, as a farmer, as an environmentalist, it's like, we only have so many resources, and we're missing this out. And then what happens when someone hoards a piece or pieces of this puzzle? Do we get a good picture? And that might be something that happens with capitalism. People they have an idea and they want to make profit off of it, retire, travel, do whatever, and they don't share it with the community. So that's the other aspect. How do we encourage and incentivize open source development and cooperation? So what happens when we work together? We get an idea of a bigger picture. We share the ideas, we share the pieces, and we become more. We move away from the capital, more is better, it's all about me, into it's all about us. So this is what we're doing right now, is we've opened up a Miro board, asking people to put your challenge with the proposal and the idea link on it. I'll walk everybody through that if you need to know on Miro board. And how do we cooperate? So right from the get-go, rather than having everybody's challenges presented during this time, I want us to start from cooperation and see where we can make these different connections. And one of the ways is to join the challenge setting challenge team on Telegram. Not a lot of activity going on there. The leader is me, and I am a reluctant leader. So I'm kind of laying it out there and hoping somebody else will pick up the ball, but it's not happening. So here you are, you're stuck with me spearheading this at the moment. So that being said, though, I'm happy to do it because I'm all about collaboration and also sharing resources. Tom, I saw this grow seniors, grow Cardano. More power to the older people, right?
So this yeah, as a senior farmer, I had sold my financial business when I was 47, became a farmer, and after 20 years, I decided to get back into, I'll call it the real world or the unreal world. And it took me quite a while to just catch up with vocabulary and speakies and educate myself. And I found a Cardano system basically because of Charles. I think he's a man of principle and a certain amount of morality and viewpoints. So what I've noticed with all the scams and everything else going on is seniors are really being overlooked. I don't want to say discriminated against, but they're being overlooked. And the population, according to the UN, seniors are going to double in 10 years. And they control worldwide. Doesn't matter where you are, what continent, seniors control a great amount of wealth. And I know if we can incorporate that from a former financial advisor's standpoint, if we can incorporate that into Cardano and make Cardano a safe environment for your, my parents are dead, so it doesn't matter, but for your mom and dad worldwide, that influx a lot of it will see its way into the Cardano ecosystem with safety for mom and dad. And I think there's a lot of dApps and platforms and things that can be developed targeted towards the niche senior market.
So were you able to put this on a sticky note and do the link?
No, I'm also in a challenge. I'm in another room.
Okay, so you're
miscellaneous,
multitasking.
Correct, which is hard for a guy, especially my age.
It's hard for
But
all
yeah.
of us. So yeah, it's guy, female, age, young, whatever. So there's the Miro board.
Right.
And if you can get a chance to select one of these, you did do that though, right? You did.
I haven't done it on the Miro board yet.
Okay.
I will go in later when I'm finished with the other room.
Okay, and I'm also
And,
saving the chat. So if you get stuck, just put your information in there, or some beautiful person here will add it for us. So,
Okay.
okay. And then
Just if you could put the link up somewhere. Oh,
it's
there it
in
is.
the
Okay.
chat. So that's the
Got it.
link for the Miro board. It's wide open for everybody to muck around with and play with. And what I would like to see, if you see something that connects with you, you can either add a, can you go on mute for a second? Because I'm getting a lot of feedback. Thanks. Hey, session. So if you want to, if you have an idea and it's really cool and you want to connect it with somebody else, you can also copy and paste these and put them somewhere else. You can take a link and join it to this one. Try and make these connections and have some fun with this. Maybe you want to add your name. That's for the rest of you that are here. Session knows how to do this. So we're going to put Door's name on this one. What's your favorite color, Door? Is it
probably orange?
Orange. This color, is that orange? It's kind of reddy orange. I'm going to go with.
That's fine.
Sunset orange.
Okay, I'll just put orange like this, just because I'm being goofy. And you can put a name on this. I'm going to delete this one because Dory, I'm not sure that you want your name on anything necessarily that you didn't put on it. But so you can put a tag on there, make connections, add comments. You can add a comment here and say something about it. And then if you want to add a topic, this is how, whoops, what did I do here? I touched something I shouldn't have. Somehow I'm on eraser. Didn't know how to do this 3 months ago. So this is a test run and I want to add a link to it. So I'm going to add this Miro board link. And I can add a link there like that and apply it. That's how we play. Actually, there's a better way of doing it. Sorry, I'm going to do it better than that. So what you do is select the text, add the link, and there you go. Nice and clean. So after we get these done, I'm probably going to end up hosting some after town halls for challenge setting. And we'll just keep working on this collaboration until we have to finalize the proposals. Rather than being, 50 of us competing for limited resources. Maybe we can narrow it down to 40, something like that. Okay. Any comments, questions, suggestions?
I guess, I don't know, do you want any, like, is there any specific feedback you want from me, or like,
What's coming to your heart? Tell, you know, it's recorded, right? So, you know, add it, and then we can add it to our library of information.
sure, happy to. So I think from listening to your presentation, I had the impression that the problem set were kind of seemed really complicated and hard to solve. And I think that what I would recommend, you know, and acknowledging that these questions are real and they are hard and they are complicated, is to adopt a strategy I just learned actually, like just a few hours ago, that I think is really good, called like unfolding. So what that means is that rather than trying to look at a complex problem that has all these moving parts and try to solve everything at once, and which can be very hard to do, what you can do is look at the current system. And right now the current system you're looking at is like the challenge setting system, right? Like the way people come, frame problems, you know, basically put the price tag on the problems, like how much resources are we allocating to address these problems, right? And then try to ask yourself, within the current system as we have it right now, what's the strongest thing that we have? What is it that is like the strongest property of this system that like works the best, is really effective, is really powerful? And then how can we make that one even stronger? And then the other question is, what's the weakest part of the system? Okay, what's the biggest detriment? What's the weakest chain in the link of the system right now? And then how can we make that stronger? Okay, so or how can we make it less weak? So I think when you do it like that iteratively, then, you know, the right thing, it emerges, it unfolds over time, because you keep being more effective, but also like you're taking care of the things that kind of like are blocking you, dragging you down over time. And you don't need to worry about all the problems and all the questions, but you have a much more focused approach that makes it tangible, right? Because we can, you know, just to give an example, you know, we can say, what's the weakest part of the system right now? Probably, I would say probably the weakest part is it's really hard to track if the problems are actually being solved in the current way that the problems are being formulated. So then a discussion can start, like, how can we help? How can we train people? How can we help people formulate challenges in a way that we can actually verify they're solved later, right? How can we set appropriate metrics to do that, for example? And only if we can focus and just solve that, you know, this is like, it's a tectonic shift, you know, it's a huge deal, you know. Of course, you know, that's just my opinion. Maybe there's other people who have other opinions of what's the weakest part. Maybe it's a coordination thing, like maybe it's the discussion about amounts that is confusing. It doesn't matter. The idea is like, pick one, focus on it, solve it, check in again, see then what's the next biggest one, solve that, you're gonna be fine. Okay, don't need to make things super complicated. That's my feedback.
Well, it's like what I said I did this presentation twice. My best friend talks about a puzzle being impossible. And when you look at it, you know, from the beginning, it is impossible until you start creating some sort of rules and, you know, looking for the edge pieces, the red pieces, connecting this, the shape. And it is a dividing of an impossible problem into possibilities. As a connector, you know, I come into Catalyst and I am stretched to the maximum and I lose my focus. I feel like I'm at the point of, I think somebody's actually pressed the red button, or it's time that we have to leave. So we're going to be heading through cyberspace. If we're coming back, I will open this room up again. Dor, thank you so much for that. It's recorded, and we'll take it to heart, as all the things that you say we do.
Yeah, and just remember, you're like, you're not alone. You know, you identify a problem, you want to improve it, you can post it to the community as a challenge, and you can have tens, hundreds of people come up with all different sorts of proposals how to address it. And
Yeah.
that's kind of the power that you have, you know, as a community. You know, you now can really direct people's attention towards working on the right problems.
So this came out of, okay, yeah.
Coming back to the call, please catch up with each other, but you do already, and go further into it.
Did someone
So-
press the red button, or did we get called back?
You have been called back.
We've been summoned. Awesome. That's even better. I love flying through cyberspace.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a nice time. And